All right, moving forward now, Absa Bank has today introduced an SME-centered credit facility dubbed Wezesha Stock that aims to reduce the turnaround time for SMEs to access credit, targeting SMEs in fast-moving consumer goods. Now, according to Absa Business Director, that is Elizabeth Wasuna, the SMEs will receive between 100,000 and 10 million in credit through their mobile application, which will attract a fixed repayment rate to be repaid within 7 days. Let's listen in. All right, Ms. Elizabeth Wasuna, thank you so much for making time to speak to us and on this particular product. So one of the things that we would want to know initially is how much is the bank going to invest as capital injection, particularly for this project?
Thank you very much for having me today. Today really is a launch of a Wezesha stock financing opportunity from Absa Bank. We're really excited about it because not only does it make things easier, faster, better, it allows us to be able to provide financing in a more creative manner. Traditionally, we've always expected customers to come into the bank and to fill the applications and do all this paperwork. But today, it's from a app-based, and therefore it gives an opportunity for traders across Kenya to be able to access capital or working capital in a more efficient manner. Now, when you ask about the limits for this particular app solution is really based on the credibility of each and every person that the app is applying, the business. But what we're saying is between 100,000 and 10 million shillings in terms of an unsecured facility based on this particular app.
All right, so particularly the target for this product are going to be SMEs. And when you talk about 100,000, then those that might say my needs are below that ticket size, maybe all I wanted it was 50,000. So how do you then cater for this category of customers?
So the category is not to say that you can't access, that particular amount of money, whatever it is that you require. All we're saying is this particular app will allow you to do even more, isn't it? And sometimes when you ask us, look, I say 0 to 10 million shillings, they say, no, that is... Let's hear a number that aligns with our business. And a lot of the businesses that we've applied to today, for instance, the stockists, the retailers, the wholesalers in the FMCG world, a limit of 100,000 isn't out of this world. Yeah. So it's just an enablement to say that from 100,000 to 10 million shillings are limits, around where you can be able to access.
All right. Now, it's something interesting that has come out of this is the fact that you're looking at fixed rates. And of course, currently what we're seeing in the market is there's a lot of volatility as far as interest rates go. So why a fixed interest rate, and what are we looking at? Are we looking at 10%? Are we looking at 5%? Are we looking at an interest that is fluctuating?
Yeah. Well, let's just start with the fact that fixed rates ordinarily support businesses in being able to plan forward. When you engage with us and we give you a fixed rate, it allows you to then say, what are you going to charge for the products that you're then offloading, isn't it? When you talk about floating rates in an environment as volatile as this, and you've seen how rates have been fluctuating, it doesn't allow the retailers or the stockists to be able to price accordingly. So our way of being able to engage with these customers is to say fixed rates for now will really make sense in this particular product to just give you a view of how you're going to finance or how you're going to price your products moving forward.
All right, two final questions. One of them is how are you going to mitigate against the risk? Because again, when you look at SMEs, one of the things that has been associated with them is that they're high-risk clients.
Well, this is a no-brainer. First and foremost, when you belong to an ecosystem as strong as your anchor client, it means that risk for us is really not, it's mitigated in a great way. We see the orders, we see your performance, we see where you're selling in certain areas. So it's really mitigated to the extent where we're then saying, how much can you afford and how much can you be able to push in the market? So it allows SMEs to really thrive in areas where you have commitment, willingness to pay, the discipline that you can be able to work on that. Apart from that, this product particularly is coming at a point where it's driven towards financing. But when you look at the Absa way of doing business, we are providing financial and non-financial support. So we do have a lot of trainings and opportunities for our traders and SMEs to grow their business in a very stable manner, knowing how to manage their books, knowing the risks in the environment. We have constant conversations with SMEs just to make sure that they're really stable as they grow their business. So once you're part and parcel of the Absa family, you have access to all this information, both non-financial and financial support.
All right, in terms of the repayment periods, and also maybe you can just give us the current rates that you're looking at. Are we looking at 5% or 10%? What is that figure like? And also just the repayment period that these customers then will be expected to repay.
Okay. So on the app, we have periods of up to 7 days. Remember, these are fast-moving products. We're looking at a scenario, for instance, when you order from an e-bill perspective, your products are coming in, we need to give you time to be able to offload them. And we know these goods move fast. So in that situation, it's 7 days, right, to be able to turn over and pay back without necessarily, and being given very competitive interest rates. I think it's 0.43, around 0, let's say 0.5%. So what we're saying is it's very competitive because it looks at the 7-day period that you're looking to have this particular facility. Yeah.
Elizabeth, thanks so much for making time to speak to us. And of course, we'll be looking forward to see what is the impact of this in the long run. All right, and of course, that was earlier on. Now we want to switch gears and have that conversation around standardization